So why was MIDI such a revolutionary thing when it was announced in the early 80s? Well, to try and explain that, I brought two items here, a drum machine and the Roland SH101 synthesizer, and neither of these has MIDI. So there is no MIDI connections here, and there are no MIDI connections here. However, there is a trig out, which is an early version of MIDI clock, which we're going to use in a second. So the drum machine sounds like this. And I then have the Roland SH101, which I can play, of course, but it also has an onboard sequencer, so I'm going to play that. And if I play these at the same time, there's chaos. What I can do, however, is that I can take the trig out from the drum machine and I can connect it to the SH101 and I can control the sequence and tempo using that trig. So let's do that. And if I now press play on the 101, then it'll just sustain because we don't have any clock in, and then I'll press play. And there we go, and now they're playing in time. However, I have a problem here because there is no external clock out from my 101, which means that I can only control the tempo of this synthesizer. I also have an additional problem because if I want to trigger this synthesizer from an external synthesizer, like we do with MIDI all the time, then to trigger the notes, I need something called V-trig, and to trigger pitch, I need something called 1 volt per octave, a volt per octave. However, if I want to talk to the MS-20 over here, I need S-trig, and I need something called hertz per octave, which means that these two synthesizers will never talk to each other, ever, unless I get some kind of converter box, which means that I then have to have an additional box to have some of the synthesizers talk to each other. So you can see that when companies like Yamaha, Korg, Roland, Sequential Circuits, all of these big companies got together and had a unified standard, so regardless what synthesizer I bought or drum machine, I could just basically connect them, get a cheap middle lead, connect them, and everything was running in sync, and I could play different sounds from different synthesizers remotely.